And names. Dynamic tactics, 50-50 battles, the active touch system. As ever, these names mean almost nothing by themselves, and most of these changes won't become truly apparent until we've logged 100 hours with the game at least, and we've only played about 2 so far. That said, after our hands-on, we've spotted some changes that are already making themselves felt. Easily the most sweeping change to FIFA 19 comes to its most humble mode. Kickoff has traditionally been your pick up and play local mode, but now it comes with a suite of features of its own. On the more mundane end of things, there are handicaps, things like letting you adjust the AI of each team, or even the starting score to account for less skilled players. But then, there are house rules. Aside from your basic exhibition matches, these new rule sets can dramatically and hilariously change the game. Long range adds a basketball twist, awarding you 2 goals for scoring from outside the box. Headers and volleys disallows every goal that doesn't come from a, you guessed it, header or volley. First 2 is a race to a set goal limit, and no rules turns off cards and offsides for a borderline murder ball experience. None of these new modes will be available online, sadly, but even in the couple of hours I played, they spiced up local play in a way I don't remember from FIFA since 98's 5-a-side mode. But one of the new rule sets is such a big change by itself that we had to give it its own entry on the list. I'm not gonna lie, I initially thought EA had actually put a Battle Royale mode into FIFA. In actuality, survival's drawn from a closer source, FIFA Street's popular Last Man Standing mode. The rules are simple. Every time you score, a random player from your team, aside from the goalie, is sent off. At first, it's just funny, but it quickly adds a layer of tactical play. Do you go for the jugular and try to score early before stacking your defence and setting up shop for the rest of the match? Or do you try and poach a single goal as 90 minutes rolls around? In a lovely final touch, the commentary team even mentions the mode, talking between themselves about possible tactics for victory. It's gratifyingly odd to see the usually simulation-focused FIFA try something so funny. Despite my snarky comments at the start of the video, timed finishing is an EA title for a change that actually makes itself felt almost immediately. Probably the most significant change to FIFA 19's gameplay itself. The easiest way to explain this feature is to compare it to something very unlikely: Gears of War's active reload system. Now stick with me here. After setting up the power of a shot, FIFA now offers a lovely little bit of risk and reward. Pressing the button again as your player's foot connects with the shot ups its stats, making it move faster and curl more. Time it right and the indicator above the player's head flashes green and your shot rockets harder than ever. Time it wrong and it flashes red and your shot skews off your foot or dribbles towards goal. Hitting it sweetly isn't a guaranteed goal, nor is messing up a guaranteed miss. One of my many scuffed shots from Paul Pogba accidentally turned into a beautiful curler from his outside foot. It's also not a necessity to try this on every shot. Regular shooting is the same as ever, but it's a beautifully video gamey way to add some extra jeopardy to every finish. Probably one of this year's more invisible changes is EA's somewhat nebulous promise that opposing players will be more physical when meeting the ball at the same time. Initially, I was a little skeptical about this. Surely that's just, tackling. But returning to FIFA 18 after my hands-on with the new game has made me a believer. Where last year's game often sees players inexplicably failing to put a tackle in when coming towards each other, FIFA 19 often sees them both going in hard, even colliding with each other in the process. It makes defending feel more robust, and even has the upshot of making losing the ball feel a little less irritating than if your player just lets an attacker run past them. EA's made quite a lot of its active touch system, adding a number of new animations for traps, skills, and first touches. It's all very flashy, but very little of it is actually anything other than automatic, rewarding more skilled players with cooler moves, essentially. But one facet is more direct than the rest. Clicking in the right stick now has your player flick the ball in whatever direction the left stick's pointing in, or even starting keepy-uppies if they're standing still. Honestly, the main difference here may well be that playing with strangers online might be about to become extremely irritating as they repeatedly try ludicrous skill moves instead of, playing football. But there's no doubting how good it feels to see a lunging defender being able to daintily chip the ball over a stretched leg before volleying the ball home. This final point is another win for local play. FIFA now lets you create distinct in-game profiles which can be chosen by players before any match. Each profile collects a frankly absurd number of stats about your play, right down to which part of the net you score the most goals in. Better, it directly compares your stats against every other profile, meaning you can now track how many times you've won or lost against any other player who has a profile on your console. Profiles can be attached to PSN or Xbox Live accounts, meaning they can be transferred to friends' machines too. Essentially, you'll now have a foolproof way of deciding who's best amongst a group of friends who play regularly, instead of creating a year-long league table wall chart collecting wins, goals scored, and number of humiliating losses. Other people do that.